Hello, I'm Jose Zaiter and welcome to the first edition of What's Cooking Hollywood. You know, food brings us together. It also identifies us as to who we are and where we come from. For some, it's exotic, and for others, a passion. Here in Hollywood, we have some of the best restaurants in South Florida, and we thought it would be a good idea to highlight some of them. Today, we're featuring Lola's and Harrison's. So let's go into Mike's kitchen as he prepares one of his creations. Today, Chef Michael will prepare his famous purple potato skins. Here are the ingredients you will need for the recipe: purple potatoes, sun-dried tomatoes, creme fraiche, smoked bacon, fresh garlic, fresh herbs such as basil, sage, Italian parsley, chives, and rosemary. Also, black caviar, chili powder, salt and pepper, and olive oil. Hello, Chef Mike.
How you doing?
I'm Jose Zaiter from What's Cooking Hollywood.
Very nice to meet you.
Same here. First of all, tell us a little bit about the restaurant and your career as a chef, and then we'll get right into the recipe.
Okay, well, again, my name is Michael Wagner. I'm the chef owner of Lola's on Harrison. I've been a chef down here in Miami for almost 12 years. I've worked for some great companies, other great chefs, celebrity chefs. And about last 4th of July, I had an opportunity to get into the game because I wanted to really be a part of South Florida cuisine and wanted to really experience it for myself as an owner. Had a great opportunity, so as I was looking at Hollywood, Hollywood was one of those real up-and-coming, great potential cities, and that's one of the reasons why I landed here.
Great, terrific, welcome. And let's get right into the recipe of today.
Okay, fantastic. You know, again, like I was talking about a potato skin, here we have this beautiful purple potato.
Now that's the question that I have. Normally, you know, we have in America the average potato, but this is a purple color skin potato.
Yep.
It's obviously, where does it come from, and does it taste different? Why use a purple skin?
Sure, you know, certainly the color. Color is, you know, when it presents on the plate, it really stands out. These potatoes, they're called Peruvian purple potatoes, obviously found in Peru. Now they grow them in California as well, so it is I would say a local product, but it is something you can find in the States. As people eat with their eyes first, and as the plate comes right in front of them, not only is the color very striking and different, but everything else that we're going to do with the plating and the aromas coming from that plate is going to be fantastic. Now what we do here is that we just cut these in half, and as you see, as we open these up, some of them will have a little bit more purple than others. Some of them are straight all the way through. Okay, so after we cut these open, I'm going to go ahead. We're first going to season these and make them taste good.
What do you season it with?
I brought all these great fresh herbs with me. We have rosemary, we have sage, we have fresh basil, and Italian parsley. Of course, probably in every one of my dishes here we have some elements of garlic, and I
love garlic.
Everyone loves garlic.
Favorite.
Okay, so I'm going to take these purple potatoes, just going to put these into this bowl. Just going to set it aside here for the moment.
Okay.
Now we're going to go ahead, and we have rosemary here. So what I do is I just run my fingers straight down, and I take a couple of the leaves off. Okay, and sage, you know, sage not as popular. Of course, you can find this in a typical supermarket. Sage again is, if you can smell it here, it's very perfumey.
Yes. And it kind of complements the flavor to the rosemary, I think.
It really does. It really does. I'm going to take these leaves off, and I'm going to keep everything separate right now, and I'll explain why in a minute. Again, fresh basil. Basil is something, you know, very familiar with in Italian food. It's one of the more versatile and more well-recognized herbs out there. The flavor profile is mostly like black licorice. We're going to treat this like the sage. We're going to individually pick these herbs. Now, there's a couple of ways to, all these different herbs, there's different ways to cut these, believe it or not. It's not just throwing them all on the board and chopping them up. There's a couple of nice techniques. With rosemary, rosemary is one of those herbs that you can just take your knife and just cut right through. I'm just going to add it right into the potatoes. Okay. Now, sage and basil I cut the same way. Now, they come in these longer leaves.
Right.
So what I do is I lay out these leaves flat, one against another, and then I just roll them up very small. And why I do this is that these basil and sage, when you cut through it, especially with a sharp knife, just like this, the end result is the herb's going to be very green and very precise cuts. So as I have my knife here, I'm just taking these long strips.
And that will help maintain its color.
Yeah, as you can see,
yep.
it's still very green, and I just kind of sprinkle it around. You know, again, same thing with the basil. I'm going to lay the leaves. I always take the biggest leaf, put it on the bottom, and do a little bit smaller leaves on top. Again, same concept as the sage, and it's just one stroke. And I'm going to cut these into little strips. And if you want to cut these even a little bit smaller at this point, you can just, done. Okay, so again, basil. So we have sage, basil, and rosemary. So here we have the parsley. Just going to finish it here, chop it up. Okay, it's going to go right inside the potatoes. Okay, now at this point, I'm also going to add some garlic. You know, number one, I'll take off this little piece here you don't use, just the end of the bulb, which I'll just put aside. And what I do is I put my garlic flat on the board. I take my knife, I put it flat on the garlic, and I press down. You can cut them as big or small as you want. Okay, now the garlic is going to go right into these purple potatoes. Okay? So now we have these herbs and garlic. The one thing is that's missing right now is a little bit of olive oil. Now, you can use extra virgin olive for this, regular olive oil, a blended oil. You know, it's pretty open what you can use at this point. So I just have some blended oil. I'm just going to lightly coat the potatoes. I don't want to do it too much. Okay? And of course, to make anything taste good, you have to have salt and pepper. Here at the restaurant and at my house, I use kosher salt or sea salt.
That's the one I use.
Why do you use it?
Well, I think it's a milder taste, and I have control. I can control better the taste of the salt.
That's exactly it. You know, when you put the granules of kosher salt in your hand, you can feel it. You know, iodized salt or table salt is so fine, even like a fine sand, and it has this, like, to me, like a metallic, chemically taste to it. This is a little bit more pure. Sea salt is even more pure than kosher salt. But again, you can feel it. You can control. So as I'm feeling, I can put it in my hands, and I can feel how much I'm putting in. Okay, I'm just going to add a pinch of salt, pinch of pepper. Okay, now that we have everything together in my mixing bowl, I'm just going to toss it around. Okay, just want to get everything, all the flavors going together. Okay, now that that's together, here at the restaurant, we have a small rack here with a sheet pan. The reason why I use a rack is when I put these potatoes on the rack, you're going to get the hot air circulating the potato. So now I'm going to go ahead. I preheated my oven.
350.
At 350. Go ahead. Just going to slide these in. Okay. These are probably going to take somewhere between about a half hour to be fully cooked.
Now you had 4 of them there. If you decide to do, let's say, a dozen.
Yep.
Would it take the same amount of time to cook them? An hour? Or?
Same amount of time. Yep. Doesn't matter. It's not it's not the quantity. It's more of the even size of the potatoes. If you're bigger and smaller, they're going to cook at different times. But as long as they're the same size, same shape, everything is being put in at the oven at the same time, they should come out at the same time.
In addition to Chef Mike's vision of the new American cuisine, Lola's and Harrison also offers live entertainment on Thursday evenings.